G'day, my name's Philip. Thanks for watching. We're partway through the current global drama. We've been locked away for about 2 weeks. Who knows when we're going to be allowed back out, but our gym is closed. We looked at buying second-hand gym equipment, but people are absolutely bonkers, so forget that. New equipment's going to take 6 to 8 weeks to deliver, so we're going to make our own basic gym set, and we're just going to make it out of wood. 2 reasons for that. A, we can do it, and B, there's a cost effectiveness to it. At the end of this drama, if we want to give it away or we want to sell it, either way it's not going to be a huge cost impost on us. Let's get to it. So this is the basic design that we're looking to achieve. As you can see, it's a pull-up bar at one side and a bench press on the other side with a freestanding or connected bench. The bench itself has the ability to have a backrest which inclines and a seat which tilts up, and as I've just said, we can use that independently of the actual upright. They can both stand on their own, but in most cases we'll use them connected together. We've looked through the internet and there's some fantastic designs out there, and people probably far more skilled at this than I am, and I'd encourage you to go and look at those designs because you might find something that's actually better suited to your needs, but this is going to be completely suited to our needs. That's what we're seeking to build. We'll get on with it. So the first step is to get the uprights complete, and so they're able to support themselves. Then you can start to put the rest of the frame together. So this is the upright, which is 2,100 millimeters tall, and this is the foot of the upright, which is 1,000 millimeters or a meter long. And you can see I've rounded the edges, and when we're at the final product, I'll smooth those off so they'll be just a little bit less harsh. So with the foot cut to the right length and the upright cut to the right length, the next step is to actually secure the foot to the actual upright. I'm using 10 millimeters or M10 bolts through. Drill a hole with 11 or 12 millimeter long wood screw or wood drill bit, and with that secure the foot to the actual upright. I'll make both of those, and then I'll join them together so that they're self-supporting. Then I can start to put the top levels of the uprights on where the actual support for the pull-up bar actually. So I've got the foot made on one of the uprights, and because we need the upright to be absolutely level, I'll show you the technique that I'm using to absolutely confirm that it's level, and that is with the use of a laser sight. So I'll show you how I've secured the foot. You'll see here that the foot's secured with a bolt. I'm about to put a bolt through the top of the angle support here, and I have actually secured this angled support with 2 wood screws that you can see on the top and one coming through from underneath. So I basically finished stabilising the uprights. If you look here, I've got the top cross member on, and I've got these 2 angled supports to just hold the lateral movement of the entire frame, and it really has strengthened it very, very well. So I've got the bar supports mounted, and just to make sure they're absolutely sound, I've secured them with bolts through the main body of the actual lumbar. I also attached 4 screws in the end of each going into the main upright support, as well as put in 45-degree angle supports as well. It's pretty hard to see here, but to ensure that I've got both bars absolutely level, I've got the laser level out, and I'm just measuring the intersecting line here on this beam or this support, and making sure that this support is exactly the same. So I've moved on to making the actual gym bench, and what you can see here is the actual spine. The actual spine of the actual bench is made up of two 90 by 45 blocks of strips of wood and a 70 by 35 stick in the middle. And the simple process is simply just to glue each of these together with a little bit of glue, not too much, because it'll squeeze out the side and distort it, and then just put in the probably 6-inch spaced 65mm wood screws. So the basic arrangement is here. We've got ourselves our end bit. Now I've got to work out how to make this raise, and I'll be just doing that with hinges. This is the backrest, so this will have 4 or 5 grades depending where I cut the cross members here to actually fit a brace. I'll show you that as we get to it. This is the basic spine that I mentioned in the previous segment, and to that I've attached the 2 decks. Now the spine has basically got a bolt through, a single bolt, and that bolt goes from one side to the other. In fact, it's not even really a bolt, it's a threaded rod, and I've put a bolt on either side of it, which is a better way of explaining it. I'll turn it back over in a minute to explain the details. But essentially, this is going to be the upright for the back, and these two legs will come across here, and I'll cut grooves in here to actually rest a threaded rod between here and here at various heights. In relation to the tail or the actual seat, and you can see the hinges here, pretty simple affair. Put an extra 42 by 42 wood either side of the spine to create a platform, and this will make up the seat. So you can see that the back will come up like this, and the seat will come up like this. I've attached two 42 by 42 squares to the back of the board. That's done with four screws, and independently of that, I've got these 2 arms, and these arms are connected to these 2 guide posts by a bolt, which I've embedded the head so that it clears the spine when this is what I've just fitted. So put the thread through, make all the measurements, and then cut the length of thread you need. Get your aluminium, work out what length you need, and just cut that and slide it on. Put a washer at each end, and that holds the 2 arms apart. Put a cap on a washer on the end there, and then just put the cap on. To determine the actual height of the final legs, we've just experimented with a couple of spare blocks of concrete and some sticks of wood to make sure that we've got the height absolutely right for sitting on. So I've got the routing finished and got the levels made up, which I'll show you in a second. Routing's one of those things that if you don't have to do it, don't, because it's a shit of a job. It's one of those jobs you forget how bad it is until you've got to do it. I'm sure some people are guns at it, but I'm just shit. And basically the system just works like that. Lock it in, there you got that. 60, 45. To secure the front, because that doesn't need to to have such a wide variety of angles. I basically just angled a piece of 35 by 70, and it basically sits in the groove, just locks in place. So finish the structural components of the actual assembly. You can see there in the background I've painted it overnight, just in a dark grey with a gloss finish, just to make it a bit easier to clean, and it's ready to be reassembled. What I'm doing now is actually doing the tops of the bench, and the intention is to coat them with vinyl to give them a bit of extra padding. What I actually purchased was a yoga mat and chopped it up into the reasonable sizes. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a thicker one. This is probably about 3 or 4 mil, and I really wanted a thicker one. So my intention is to actually lay 2 of those one on top of each other. So stick the first one down, then put another layer of glue on it and stick the second one down. The process with which I'm going with is I've got a spray glue, coat the top of the bench, and then coat the actual yoga mat or dissected yoga mat that goes on top of it, stick them together, clamp them flat, come back, do that again. The basics of using spray glue, pretty simple, just a matter of coating the surface that you want to be working with. I'm electing to do these 2 separately at a time. It doesn't make sense, not 2 separately at a time. I'm going to do both, one bench separately, then I'll do the seat. Managed to stick it to the this is the seat of the bench. So you can see here I've got the backrest, and I've got the sacrifice yoga mat stuck to the actual front side of it. This is the rear side. Gone through and secured one edge just by producing a basic fold and staple that. It's not exactly straight, but it's not too bad. So the next process that I'm going to do is basically to using an aluminium bar or using some sort of metal, and you could even use wood. But basically, I'm just going to stretch that tight so that it's tight on the underside, fold it across, and there we've got the stretch remaining on the vinyl. And what I'll do here, just cut across here, create another fold, and that'll at least get me my 2 longest edges of the backrest completed. So I've just finished securing the vinyl to the backrest, and as you can see, I'm not sure if you can actually see it or not, but it's a pretty smooth surface, no ripples. The edges are quite nice. It's got a bit of springiness to it, which is what I was seeking for the support. And the top, although a little bit weird, is quite nice. So on the back, you can see that it's basically just folded over and placed staples along here, which is the primary reason that I chose pine in the first place, is because it's a soft wood and you can staple into it quite easily. So you can see there that I've actually put the seat down now, also covered in vinyl, matching the backrest, and as I said, I'm just waiting for the paint to harden. So that's it, gym complete. Done and dusted, and we'll get some use out of it now. Hopefully you found some benefit out of watching this video. Thanks for watching.